So hello everyone, I'm Tofu, we're on Ewetopia, my all-sheep island, and today we'll be doing a build video. So I'm going to be building a Gyroid garden neighbourhood, and just a little area surrounding the resident services as well. So let's jump into it, shall we? So firstly, before I show off the area that we are building around, obviously I'm standing in it, but you know, I want to say a massive thank you and a shout out to ElectroCat07 on YouTube, who made this sheep sweater that I'm currently sporting. It's based on, I think, Shah the sheep from the Walton files, which honestly I don't know anything about, but the sweater looks incredible, so I had to show it off. I had to give them a shout out. Thank you very much for letting me wear it. But this is obviously the area that we'll be building in, so just beyond the marketplace, the campsite and a little hedge maze. And then we'll be going up next to the bridge and obviously to the right where the resident services is. I have done a little bit of building off of camera just behind the resident services. I'm going to finish that off later, again off of camera. But yeah, let's get into the main body of the build, shall we? So it'll be this area here. The very first thing we're going to do is place down a tree. So let's obviously get our handy dandy shovel out. Fabulous. And this tree is going to essentially be like a little roundabout, and you can probably guess that these are going to be the two houses that I'm going to put here. I think it's going to be Kurlos and then Vesta that I put into these spaces, but I guess we'll see, because I haven't truly decided on that as of yet. I'm just going to start putting down a few bits of furniture, and then obviously throw some gyroids down, because what would a gyroid garden be without some gyroids? That's not where I wanted that barrel, but it's fine. Yeah, something like that. And then we're going to have a little stone stool on the other side. Again, just push that in a little bit closer, not sit down on it. So as per usual, I've obviously gone around and made some marks as to where I want various trees and things like that. I'm going to grab the trees a little bit later. That is not the gyroid I actually want, so let's try that one. Cool. But yeah, I've marked down where I want the trees. Obviously, I only have a certain amount of inventory space, so I'll grab the trees after I've done the majority of this area here. I've managed to grab a few things like bushes and flowers, so yeah, I'll make sure that's all down. Next of all, I want a table just kind of tucked away here. Obviously not too close to where the house will be. And we've got a few things just to throw onto the table, so a little set of starter plants and also a little pot of pickled veggies. There it is! I meant to put it on the table, not show it off, but there you go. You get to see it in all its glory, I suppose. Oh dear. Anyway, I've also got some stack bags, which I'm just going to push forward. If I can stop sitting on it for 1 second. Fabulous. And obviously another little gyroid's going to go here. And there's this happy little chappy here. Cool. So, just going to throw a couple of wheat fields. Obviously, the green dots are where I'm going to be placing trees. The pink dots are going to be where I'm placing stunted trees. So, yeah, I obviously need a little space where fruit can be planted, or other nursery trees can be planted behind these, or besides the trees, I suppose. Let's put another wheat field just in front of this pink dot. So I think it's this. No, it's not. Tell a lie. Cool. And I didn't want to build a lot of fence around the river, just because it makes it feel very closed off, and obviously I would like some access, I guess, for fishing. Rudy's coming over to inspect what I'm doing. I would appreciate if you didn't get in my way, but love you. But yeah, I still want to be able to fish in the river, but at the same time I kind of want to make it feel like this is their yard. So I think it's only natural that we put a bit of fencing in. And just in between this little break of the fence, we've got a little pet duck. I really love these duck models, they're just fantastic, and I don't use them nearly enough. Okay. Gonna bust out our trusty dusty shovel and start planting some bushes, just while I've got some in my inventory, obviously. And there is no real rhyme and reason when it comes to these bushes or where I'm placing them. I'm just kind of going with what feels right. So I definitely want one up here next to this house. Cool. I think I'm gonna put one, maybe here right next to this tree. I'm gonna have one here. I think it'll probably be obscured, or mostly obscured by the house once it's up, but you might just see the little bit of green poking behind. And I've got another one. Where will that go? Let's put it here. Cool. Now I want a few flowers just besides the houses, so we're going to obviously put down these green mums and then the white windflowers. I kind of forgot what they were called there for a second. And I just wanted a slight alternating pattern, so we're just going green, white, green, and obviously the opposite on the other side as well. But I really like the green mums, and I think they work pretty much any island, honestly, but I think they really work nicely when it comes to these cottagecore islands as well. Just so good. And I've got a single green mum. Let's put that here. Cool. And very last of all, as far as our items are concerned, we have the evergreen ash. And that will just add a splash of difference when it comes to trees, because obviously we're going to have a tree here and then a tree here. But yeah, different shape, different style, different colour. I think that kind of variation is just really nice. I also have, obviously, this gyroid. What I might do, I think I'm going to take the duck off this log stool. We're going to pick up these flowers. I'm going to put the log stool here and then put that gyroid on top. I'm going to put the duck just on the floor, but still in the same place that it was previously. So a little bit of change in plan, but hopefully, yeah, hopefully it looks alright at the end. So duck on the floor. Going to rotate him like he was. Yeah, I think that's cool. Right, okay, so with that being done, for the most part, I'm going to run off and grab some trees, obviously just show me planting down a few. I'll also run to the resident services and make sure the houses get put in place, and then we'll move on to the area behind it. So, see you in a second. Okay, so there is no rhyme and reason when it comes to these trees. I'm just going to put down what I think looks good in my mind, honestly. I haven't tested out what trees go where, unlike generally the rest of the planning. But just while I'm doing this, I wanted to say oh, I picked up a weed there, that wasn't intentional. But yeah, I want to say a thank you and a shout out to Pistachio Queen and Roblox Fan. Because in my previous villager hunt on Ewetopia, I did say if you played along and you tried to guess the villager that I would get, I'd give you a shout out. And whilst I did say that if you got it right, I'd give you a shout out, these two played along and they were the only two to play along, so you know what, I'm giving them a shout out. So thank you very much for playing along and just having a little bit of fun. Okay, so obviously got to just put something here to stunt it, so we're going to use one of the nursery pairs I have. So there is no real rhyme and reason when it comes to what trees are being placed where. I'm just going with what feels right in my heart. That kind of blocks the view of this little guy here, which I thought might be a concern, so I might just have to push him back a little bit. Okay, cool. I do like trying to create a bit of a mix when it comes to the trees, so I don't want like too many, say, cedars next to each other, too many hardwoods or things like that. I thought that was going to be the case, but there you go. I'll just put the wheat field back after I put in this cedar tree. Oh, and Rudy obviously wants to talk to me because, you know, why wouldn't he? Well, I'll indulge him because he is my boy. Let me put my shovel away. What is up, sir? You've already you're the only person that's given me a nickname. Okay, what is it? Come on, tell me. Touchdown. Okay, sure. Champion touchdown. I mean, yeah, I don't mind that. That seems to roll off the tongue a little bit better, doesn't it? It sounds a bit weird at the same time, but hey, it's fine. And we're going to plonk a tree here. Hopefully Etoile doesn't just remain in the way. Let's put down a cherry tree. Cool. So I've got a couple of other trees, which I know there's going to be one here, just on the other side of the house. I do like this time in autumn just because, obviously, all the trees are different colours and you never can guarantee what you're going to get. So there's this beautiful kind of orangey gold, you have this yellowy gold, there's the beautiful reds, and just this smattering of very light green as well. It's just really nice. We have one more pink dot just here. This might cover up the house a little bit, but, you know, I still want it to feel kind of natural, very kind of foresty and grown, so it's fine. And we'll just plant the cherry here. Cool. We'll put a green mum just in this little corner, just because we had, yeah, one left over. And I guess I'll put the, where did the weed come from? I don't remember. It's probably over here, actually. It must have been, yeah. Okay. Cool, so that's the general gist of the entrance to this little gyroid garden. So you've got obviously these four happy chappies. You have this one over here. And yeah, I'm going to obviously talk to Nook and move these pair in. I believe it's going to be Kurlos and, like I said, Vesta. But we'll see who takes my fancy at the time. So, again, see you in a second. Okay, so Kurlos's house is going to move here. I don't have the ability to change the outside of the home as of yet, just because I haven't powered through the Happy Home Paradise DLC on this island. To be honest, I've been putting it off just because it's a bit of a slog, even when you're just throwing down the free items and that's it. But yeah, I'll get to it eventually, and then I'll make sure that all the villager homes, whoever we have on the island, are all done up, interior and exterior, all at the same time, kind of closer towards the end of the island. But I'm going to move forward a day, obviously move the next person in, move forward a day after that as well, and then we'll move on to this little area here. Okay, so with Kurlos and Vesta obviously moved in, I'm going to work on this little area here, and you might not be surprised to hear that this is going to become a farm. So I'm going to work mostly from back to front in this, because there are certain items that will block my availability to grab trees and things like that. So firstly, I'm going to start obviously with these spaces here. Again, there is absolutely no rhyme or reason when it comes to which trees go where. I'm just going to throw down what I think looks good. But like always, I do like a just smattering of all the different kinds of trees, so the hardwoods, the fruit trees, or the cedars. I just like the variation in the colours and obviously the greens and things if it was like summer, spring, but as we're in autumn, obviously there's going to be a lot of splashes of colour with the gold, orange, red, and then obviously the cedar trees being green. But these are obviously going to be where we put our actual plants on the dark dirt. This is just going to be a regular hardwood. But we're going to have a few things dotted around as well. So I have got a deer scare somewhere. There it is. Etoile's just coming to get right in my way, because why wouldn't she, obviously? The villagers are doing that a lot today, aren't they? They're not really being that much of a nuisance, but just enough to kind of remind you that, yeah, I'm here. And I don't know why I've got this little guy, but I just feel he belongs near the farm. He's like the almost the scarecrow, if you will, so he makes sure that any birds that are landing just don't come and eat the crops. What tree should we put here? I guess just a regular hardwood. That's probably going to cover him up for the most part. In fact, it does entirely. Okay. Let's pull him out a little bit, just so you can actually see him. Sure, there, he's kind of hidden by the tree, but, like, that's fine. It's better than what it was, where he's completely hidden by the tree. Because that's no good to no one. You just hear the buzzing and wouldn't be able to see him. Can I not put a tree here? Apparently I can't. Fabulous. I guess it's just 2 in the way of the bridge. Oh, that's annoying. I should have probably tested that one, but oh well. These things happen. It happens a lot more on this island, I've noticed. I don't remember where certain trees can go. Just a little bit irritating, but it's fine. See, let's put down some tomatoes. So I kind of want a mix of, like, with the tomato plants, the variation of basically how much produce is actually made. So there's some that are free, there's some that are 2, there's some that are 1. And I think just doing this and mixing it up a little bit just makes it a little bit more interesting. Like, they're not always going to have the absolute perfect amount of, like in this case, tomatoes, or just general produce. You know, it's you're going to get a mix. Some plants are going to do better than others. I do have a small tree, and Eloise is now getting in my way, not at all. But this will be a little stunted tree. Mostly enclosing the farm off, to be honest, but I thought it just made it, again, a little bit more interesting. And let's just put a cherry behind it. I'm determined to actually make sure that all the stunted trees are stunted this time, because last time... But yeah, this cedar tree here in front of the cruiser bike, I said was going to be stunted, and then I forgot to plant anything there to actually stunt it, so it just grew into a full one, and someone was quick to point it out in the comments. And it's only when I was editing the video that I actually noticed that I'd done that, so yeah, my bad. But I'm determined to make sure that all these are stunted now, or whatever needs to be stunted is stunted. So I'm putting a brick well there even, and you're not really going to be able to see it very much, but it's fine. We know it's there, and obviously if you go into the different angle, I know I prefer playing in this particular viewing angle, but if you go from the other one that's slightly a little bit more kind of from the front, then you'll notice it when you're coming up to the farm. This is meant to be just like a little storage shed, so I imagine this is mostly Kurlos's farm, honestly. So obviously he likes to you know, toil the land and make sure that he's growing the best veg and things that he can, and he's rather smug about it. But then he's got this little storage shed, he's got the little well just hidden behind these trees. Willow approves because she's obviously looking, and yeah, I'm very much happy with the outcome so far. Okay, I do have a couple of bushes, so I could put some of them down. I'm going to put one here. And I do have a gazebo, which I'm going to plonk down here, so you could sit under the gazebo and then just basically check out the river. You could just have a sit down, you know, just bask in the natural goodness that is this island. And I have a couple of other items which I'm going to stick just down here as well, just so that once you come off of resident services, you can have a place to sit down. So a little log bench. And I'm going to put a drinking fountain right next to that as well, so just want to make sure that it's close to it. Cool, so you can still see that from that angle. Fabulous, and I guess with the last bush I've got, I guess I'll just put that up here, because obviously if I can't put that tree there, then yeah, I might as well put something there. Adds a little splash of colour. And I've got a green mum left over for some reason, so sure, that can go there as well. Why not? Cool, so this is going to be Carlos's little tomato farm. And that just leaves this little space here. So I'm going to grab some furniture, obviously, and then we'll come and sort this out. So, last time, but see you in a second. Okay, so we're on to the final stretch. And you'll probably guess what this area is once I put down a few little items here. So I'm putting down a couple of fences to start with. I might have to pull these back a bit, but for now it's fine. In fact, I'm going to pull that one back just to make sure. And I have borrowed this idea off of a couple of the islands that I have managed to tour recently. But this is going to be a little picnic area with a little movie screen. So naturally, with this being a picnic area, I'm going to throw down a picnic blanket design and the good old faithful, the one I've been using for the entirety of this island, so just bear with me. Okay, so the blanket is down. I always manage to mess up just the coding when I'm doing something like this. I always forget where the code goes. Like, if you're doing just a 9 space, so like 3x3, otherwise that's really in the way. But yeah, I always forget where they go in which order, but it's fine, I got there in the end. So I'm going to put down just a random smattering of cushions. I always have that problem, just like I always end up sitting on them. I don't know why. It's a bit of a pain, but again, it's fine. So random smattering of cushions. Fabulous. I'm obviously going to start putting down a few trees, just because why not? And again, much like everywhere else, it's going to be just a complete random selection of trees. No rhyme or reason as to which one's where. I do want a few just behind this fence, just to make it seem a little bit more green, or in the case of obviously the autumn colours, maybe orange, red, gold, who knows? Excuse me. Random hardwood tree. Cool. I'm going to put a bush behind the fence as well, just to, again, another little random splash of colour. Especially during the other seasons when the flowers actually start to bloom and show off. I wanted this area to feel a little bit enclosed, but not too much. Obviously, we have got the resident services to the right, so I still wanted access to that for the most part. I have got a little stunted tree, which is going to be the one lone stunted cedar tree here. And much like I said previously, I am going to make sure that I can actually stunt it. So this nursery cherry, fantastic. It looks like all the residents are getting in my way today. There's no willow now, is that it? Just, I don't know what's up with him today. I thought she was going to try and run over that hole then, and I was going to get very annoyed, but I don't know if they can do that. They'd probably just fall in the hole if that was a thing. Okay, random tree, we'll go hardwood. Okay, cool. I might end up getting an axe and just turning that into a stump for the time being. I'm not sure. I'll make a decision as to what I want in a second, but I'll just place down a few of the remaining items that we've got. So I just want this area to feel kind of cozy, kind of cute, and like there is a bit of a picnic going on. So, much like I did with the pickled veggies, here's some apple jam. God damn it. I wish they had the order, like, why is show it off the first thing? It just doesn't make sense. And then when you've got fruit, the first the first option is drop instead of eat. And you're not going to want to drop the fruit. You want to eat it. That's the whole point of it. But I digress. So a little dessert carrier. I don't think I can push that forward anymore, so I might have to just move things around a bit to make sure that it's where I want it to be. But we've also got this picnic basket. And I'm going to pull that just a little bit closer. Okay, let's just move that so I can actually... I can't squeeze by there. Okay, we'll move it back a little bit more then. We'll push the dessert carrier a little bit further back like that, and push this back to where it was. Cool. I am going to put a bush just here, so I think I probably will go get an axe and then turn this into a stump. So it's another little just seating area, I guess, for this this movie area, this projection screen. I do have a couple of other little items as well, so the garden wagon, again just another splash of colour, and I love these items, they're just so good. And I have got a cypress tree, which you're not really going to see very much, but I'm going to put it down anyway just for a little bit of variation. Again, another splash of green compared to the rest of the trees and things. Yeah, that's looking pretty good in my opinion. Hopefully you agree. I've also got a couple of flowers, or a green mum certainly. I'm going to put that here. And I've got a bush and a couple of trees, which honestly I think I've used up all the trees that I want to, so that's going to be that. I might just put a bush here and just kind of stop people from walking basically into the farm from this side. You could squeeze through here I suppose, but yeah. Okay, let me just grab an axe and I'll obviously turn this into a stump. And I'm going to grab a few little patches of wheat field and a little pile of green leaves and just throw that down onto the pathing. And then we're pretty much done, and I will show off the entirety of the build. Okay, here with my handy dandy axe. Obviously there's too many things in the way, so naturally it's not going to produce any wood, but that's fine. I might just put a little friendly chappy here. So, I love this gyroid. It's the Arthoid, such a good boy. And then I've gathered a few bits of wheat, like I said, and the odd green leaf pile, so I'm just going to throw down some on the path. Just random places. Probably one here where I couldn't actually put down a tree. Let's throw the green leaf pile here. Cool. And then we'll throw a couple bits here. Fantastic. So naturally you come from the marketplace, the campsite, or you manage the trickiness of this hedge maze, and then you walk up into our little Gyroid garden neighbourhood. We've got all these happy little chappies. See, we've got Vesta's house on the left, Kurlos is on the right. I did pick up the green mum that was here and put his storage shed, just because I thought it felt a bit more natural living there. And yeah, I can imagine that the Gyroid garden is Vesta's, I guess, creation, her baby. And then the tomato farm that's just above here, this is more of Kurlos's thing. Obviously we've got the Spikenoid, who is our little makeshift scarecrow. And then we've got our little picnic area and movie screening, I guess, right next to resident services. And then just our little kind of treed up walkway, I suppose. I don't want to say enclosed because it's not really, but you know, there's plenty of trees giving you cover. And this little gazebo so you can sit down and just admire the river in all its glory. And so guys, that is the entirety of my Gyroid garden neighbourhood build and the surrounding area around resident services. Hopefully you liked everything I did, and if you did enjoy, please hit like and consider subscribing if you haven't done already. A massive thank you again to ElectroCat07 for the amazing sheep sweater that they made, and I just love it so much, it's fantastic. But I want to say a massive thank you if you made it this far into the video. Hopefully I will see you in the next one, and until the next one, have a good one. Cheers guys!